All right, folks, today we're looking at the golf swing of Bobby Fairways, aka Robbie Stock Shots. So we're going to be breaking down Robbie's move through the ball and also talking about a few things that you can actually learn from Robbie Berger's golf swing. So let's start off with this angle, driver down the line. The first thing of note is there's not a ton of knee flex. There's a little bit of side bend in terms of the posture over the ball and that right shoulder being a little lower than the back shoulder. In terms of the driver swing, you do want that right shoulder, that trail shoulder, to be a little bit further down. If you think of your shoulder line, you want that to be a little bit more pointed towards the sky than you would with an iron swing. The iron swing should be fairly neutral. So Robbie does a good job with that. Now looking at the takeaway, this takeaway, in my opinion, is pretty solid. It's wide. The club face keeps it's a little bit open, but it keeps a pretty standard angle throughout the takeaway. Now, my only slight criticism on this takeaway is it ends a little bit too soon. Now, having a short backswing is not necessarily a bad thing. We've seen it from guys like Tony Finau and John Rahm. But when that short backswing doesn't give you enough time to set the rest of your body in the golf swing, to set your lower body, then it can have some issues. So in this video, it's not that bad. But when Bobby Fairways himself does have a little bit of issues off the tee, from the videos that I've seen, it's usually because that backswing shortens up and he doesn't give the rest of his body enough time to get through the ball. So what I mean by that is if the hands are coming up to shoulder height, but by the time they're at shoulder height, those hips and the rest of the upper body haven't completed their turn, by the time that those hands come down and around through the ball, the rest of the body is still doing a little bit of turning, and then it's late. And then the hands are going to be doing all the swinging. The arms are going to be doing all the swinging. Not only is that a detriment to the amount of power that you'll be having through the ball, but it's also of detriment to your alignment and eventually slicing the ball. Because if those hands are coming through the ball, you're going to be over the top. The body can't catch up and shallow out your swing, so you're going to be a little bit steep. But in a lot of these videos, this isn't a big issue for Robbie, but just know that with shorter backswings, it can be. Now let's take a look at this caddy view also with the driver. The posture is a little bit better in this video, and you can also see it from a little bit of a better angle. Again, you can also see the emphasis on that back shoulder pointing upwards to the sky. Once more, this is very important for driver. We launch driver up. We swing up on the ball. However, do not get that confused with irons. If we look at this video of Bobby with the iron, you can actually see it's still a little bit up. That back shoulder down, that leading shoulder is still a little bit up, but not nearly as noticeable. So if Bobby does have any trouble maybe thinning iron shots, hitting the equator of the ball and kind of sculling the iron, it could be related to that shoulder line. So Bobby, if you're watching, maybe with the irons, try and level out that shoulder line a little bit. Keep that weight on that left foot and see if you can get some more downward impact. Really crunch those irons, get some spin, and get rid of those bad thin misses. Now going back to this caddy view, let's look at this move through transition, which I'm actually really fond of. One thing that Bobby does super well is leverage the ground. Look how that left leg, that lead leg, straightens up and pushes off the ground. It even pushes off the ground so much as to have that trail leg move a little bit off the ground. You see that right toe kind of leaving the ground right before the moment of impact and then coming off the ground. This is not dissimilar to how Justin Thomas would hit one of his bigger drives, especially when he's hitting a little bit of a draw. So yes, I am directly comparing the swing of Bobby Fairways to one of the greatest golfers in the world. The follow through for Bobby can get a little bit stiff. I don't know if that's maybe having a bad night of sleep or maybe just a flexibility issue. Either way, he can certainly get away with it, but a more complete balanced follow through could liken some comparison to Adam Scott. So maybe if you get a full night's rest and you stretch out a little bit more, you can get swing comparisons to not only Justin Thomas, but also Adam Scott. It's a nice swing, really. And I think a lot of golf swings like this, which have a lot of good technical basis, can really become very fluent and very consistent when you play and practice a lot of golf. Bobby's obviously playing a lot of golf. A lot of great content on YouTube, so big fan of what he does. Let me know what you think of Bobby's swing here in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well and take care.